We have a major winter storm that is on the way as we go into this upcoming weekend and into early next week, as well as some warmer temperatures, though, before we do get to that event. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. Hope everybody's having a great start to their week out there. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below for detailed weather breakdowns across North America so I can keep you updated this upcoming winter for more future winter storms, including the one coming up this weekend. Also, be sure to press the thumbs up button down below. It helps out more than you know. Let's look at the synoptics here of the weather pattern today. This is the 500 millibar height anomaly, and just to make this simple for you folks, the red colors out west is a ridge of high pressure, and usually associated with a ridge of high pressure is warmer air and also drier air for the most part as well. We also have a trough across the eastern two-thirds of the country that is bringing a clipper system with some rain and snow mix across portions of the southern Great Lakes region into the Ohio Valley today. Also some cooler temperatures overall as we go through the daytime as well. Let's look at our temperatures as we go through today. It is cooler off to the east, not overly so, but temperatures are near normal to about 5 degrees below normal here across the eastern two-thirds of the country today. But look out west where that ridge of high pressure is. It's warmer, it's a little drier across the Rockies and the high plains today. Temperatures will easily be 10 to 20, even 25 degrees above normal as we go through the day today out across the west. All that warm air has to go somewhere, and it's getting shoved to the east as we go later through this week. We're talking the Thursday, even Friday time frame, the peak of this warm air across the high plains and even up into the Midwestern regions, the upper Midwest. We could be seeing temperatures a good handful of degrees above normal, 20, 30 degrees above normal for this time of year. So definitely very impressive to say the least as we go through later this week. Just looking at those high temperatures during the peak of that warm-up, you can see on Thursday, December 7th, temperatures will be getting into the 40s all the way up into southern Canada. So it's not even going to stop in the United States. It's going to be pushing that 40-degree line further to the north across southern Saskatchewan, southern Manitoba, and even southern portions of Ontario. And then the 50-degree line even gets pulled up further to the north as well. 54 there on Thursday in Des Moines, 54 in Omaha, and pushing the 50-degree mark there in the Chicagoland area on Thursday. And check out these overnight lows, folks, as we go into Thursday night. Yeah, we're not dropping too far, actually very far above freezing, all the way up into the Twin Cities region at 37 for a low Thursday night, 48 even on the Chicago lakefront, 47 in Milwaukee on the lakefront there. Definitely very warm and anomalously warm to say the least for this time of year. And that means on Friday, yes, we're in the mid 50s in Chicago there on Friday, mid 50s in Indianapolis, and 60 is not out of the realm of possibility there in the Nashville, Tennessee region as we go into Friday, and then more 70s down there across the southern plains and the lower Mississippi Valley. So very warm air mass as we go into later on this week. And you can see the jet stream is just a highway for storms this week with the ridge of high pressure off there to the west at a 1041 millibar high pressure system. We have that ridge over the top there with the jet stream all the way up into southern portions of Canada and then diving back down across the Midwest and the Great Lakes region. And that's serving as a highway for storm systems. And in that highway of storms, we have a clipper system moving out of Canada up and over that high pressure system and moving across the Midwest, the southern Great Lakes, and into the Ohio Valley through the day today. You're probably waking up seeing some snow showers out there across portions of northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, portions of southern Michigan, northern Indiana, and into Ohio today. Some of this snowfall could add up, especially with slushy accumulations. We're likely not talking about anything significant too much from this system. And then as we go into tonight, it'll start to disorganize a little bit more as it moves to the east toward the mid-Atlantic, but certainly seeing some snowfall there for the Pittsburgh region, getting down there toward portions of West Virginia and eastern Ohio as we go through tonight. And there we have it, another storm system moving into the Pacific Northwest with some rain and snow showers there overnight as well. And that will continue to move further east as we go into Wednesday on the day tomorrow. Looking at the total precipitation accumulation across the United States through the rest of this work week going through Friday, December 8th, you can see that the active jet stream, the highway for storms, will be to the north across the Pacific Northwest, seeing the heaviest of rains again around the Seattle, Portland region, getting up into northern Idaho, western Montana, even British Columbia there into Canada will be very busy. And then that will lift up across southern portions of Canada before diving back down across the Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, and eventually the Northeast as we go through the week with some lighter precipitation amounts there. And most of this will be cold enough for some snow out there, so likely seeing a dusting to maybe a couple of inches of snow, especially slushy accumulations here. We're probably not talking about any major travel disruptions with any of these storms across the Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, or the Northeast, but the Pacific Northwest and the ski resorts out there loving it again. We got more snowfall as we go through the week, several inches in those higher elevations, so definitely seeing that as we go through the work week. Things start to change, though, as we get toward this weekend. This is on Saturday, December 9th. A fairly significant storm system will be digging in across the plain states here, and look at that energy, the brighter colors digging all the way down into North Texas, even Central Texas, as we get into Saturday, and that will take a negative tilt as we go into Sunday. And just to put that into layman's terms, that means that we have a fairly significant threat for severe weather as we go into that Saturday night, and even Sunday time frame. So let's talk about that here. This is the European forecast model. It has backed off on the strength of the low pressure system overall on Saturday, as it has it up across north central Illinois to the south of the low pressure system across the mid-Mississippi Valley and the lower Mississippi Valley here. We're going to have the warm, moist, and unstable air from the Gulf of Mexico mixing in across this region. So areas across the mid-south and the deep south will have to be on high alert for severe weather as we go, especially later into the day on Saturday and into Saturday night. And then as the system really starts to rapidly intensify on Sunday, as this turns negatively tilted, a 986 millibar low into Michigan there, we're going to have some heavy snow in a narrow swath on the western side of the system wherever it does track. This is the European model, and it has that heavier precipitation to the east with severe weather there on Sunday with a squall line. And then the difference here is the GFS is a little bit further to the west and northwest with this track, just a little bit. It has the low there in central Missouri rather than north central Illinois, has that snow swath starting a little bit sooner there and further to the north and west, and also has basically the same type of strength low pressure system, although it's a little bit faster of a solution there on the GFS model. So the differences in the model still exist with the track of the low pressure system, the strength a little bit of the low pressure system, and ultimately where the main impacts will be between the winter storm side with the snow and possibly blizzard conditions, the potential for severe weather and heavy rainfall, and even the winds with this storm will be still up in the air until the next couple of days come around before we can kind of get a clear grasp on where all these impacts will be. Best guess at this point here is the severe weather potential on Saturday will be maximized down here across the mid-Mississippi Valley and lower Mississippi Valley, especially in these orange outlined areas. Here are some of the cities impacted here in this severe weather potential: Little Rock, Memphis, the Shreveport region, Jackson, Mississippi, even down into the Houston region as well. So we'll continue to watch that for Saturday. All modes of severe weather would be in play: damaging winds, large hail, and a few tornadoes. Then as we go into Sunday, yes, you see that correctly. That yellow shaded color goes all the way up into the mid-Atlantic and parts of the Northeast in New England there on Sunday as the negatively tilted trough really gets charged up as we go in towards the late weekend time frame. Some of the cities here impacted could be Pittsburgh, Washington, D.C., the Baltimore region, New York City, even Raleigh there into North Carolina, and even further south from there, the Savannah, Georgia region, Jacksonville, Panama City, Tallahassee, a lot of areas at play potentially as we go into Sunday. And again, all modes of severe weather, including tornadoes, will be possible. Overall, here's your heavy rainfall threat as we go in toward the weekend. This is between Saturday, December 9th and Monday, December 11th to start next work week. Look at the heavy swath of rain here, folks. We could desperately need it still across portions of the Dixie Alley region and the southeast. Significant drought still exists down there. We just don't need it all at once, but it's nice to see some heavier rains, and then that will swing up toward the Ohio Valley, portions of the I-95 corridor, including portions of New England, and southeastern Canada gets into the mix with some rain and snow as well. Now looking on the winter side of the system, between Saturday and Monday time frame still, on the European model, it has backed off on the snowfall prospects, at least with the amounts here, but don't really pay attention to the amounts. Just pay attention to the placement of which this narrow band of snow will be. You can see up across Quebec, Ontario, and then down really right along the shoreline there of western Lake Michigan into eastern Wisconsin, northeastern and eastern Illinois, and getting into Indiana on the European model, whereas the GFS, it's a faster solution, and it pushes it a little bit further to the west and northwest. Not by a lot, but just a little bit with heavier amounts. But again, right now, looking at the placement, this could be around the Kansas City region, Des Moines, getting in toward portions of around the Rockford, Illinois region, the northern suburbs of Chicago, Green Bay, Milwaukee, even up here towards northern Michigan and the UP of Michigan. So there's still some differences in the placement of the heaviest snow, and we'll be fine-tuning this in the coming days. But here's the snowstorm probability map that I did come up with, but just looking at the weather models overnight and getting into the morning hours here, the key is on the left side of your screen. And if you are in the dark blue, you have a decent shot at seeing at least some snow from this system. But if you are in the purple region there around portions of Lake Michigan and vicinity, there is a 50 to a 75% chance you see snow, and likely at least 2 inches worth of snow in that area. So definitely seeing some decent agreement with at least a couple inches of snow in that purple shaded color. We'll be fine-tuning this again in the coming days so you know what to expect as we do get closer. But beyond this storm system, there's not a lot of Arctic air to go around. So as we go into the middle of December, between Tuesday, December 12th and Monday, December 18th, the following week, we have another surge of warm air moving in across the northern U.S., especially up there toward the upper Midwest, well above normal temperatures. You can see going into next week, the 11th through the 15th time frame during the work week, 10, 15, 20 degrees above normal there, centered across the high plains, the Midwest into the Ohio Valley. And then look at the big surge in our warm-up the following weekend there on December 16th into the 17th time frame, another 30, 35 degrees above normal, folks. So we do it all over again and we recharge the atmosphere, and that could lead to another major winter storm once we get towards that Christmas time frame. So definitely seeing that as we go later into December. Well, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below for detailed weather breakdowns across North America so I can keep you ahead of all the winter storms this upcoming winter and beyond. I do cover spring, summer, and fall as well. Also, be sure to press the thumbs up button down below if you like today's weather forecast. Definitely goes a long way in helping out to get more people to watch this video, and I hope everybody has a great rest of their week out there.